Hello everybody, we're just going to provide you with a very quick market update. What's happening here in the Spanish real estate market, particularly in view of what's been happening with the coronavirus pandemic, the lockdown restrictions across Europe and further overseas. We get a lot of questions from clients at the moment asking us what's happening to the Spanish market, what's happening to the Costa del Sol market. Is it collapsing? And the answer is no. I think there's three levels that we can look at in terms of statistics. One is inquiry level. The inquiry level is actually maintaining itself quite nicely. Bizarrely, there was a big drop off in inquiries when the pandemic was first unleashed upon us and we all went into lockdown. I think everyone was just shocked at the measures that were being brought in. Since then, boredom has taken over, I think, and people are now starting to inquire about purchasing a Spanish property. So inquiry levels are almost back up to normal. We, obviously, to save costs, we've reined in our spending on advertising. But anecdotally, speaking to other agents as well, the inquiry level is holding up, which you wouldn't necessarily have expected. So it shows that demand is there, which is good. It's a first positive sign. Second measure that you can normally use is appointments, how many appointments you're making from those inquiries. Obviously that's zero at the moment. We're not making any appointments because nobody can get here. And even if they can get here, we're not allowed to go out with them due to the quite strict lockdown measures that are in place here on the Costa del Sol. So that's a difficult one because that is literally zero. The third measure that we can normally use is sales activity. And again, that's low. But you would have thought it would be zero, but actually we're still doing deals. We're still selling properties over the phone, actually. In fact, yesterday we have agreed a deal with a client to purchase a villa at around 1.25 million. Purely through video and WhatsApp video calls and various things that we used. So there is a demand that at the moment is frustrated, that wants to purchase but isn't able to because it's not able to be here. But a small proportion of those people are not prepared to wait. They would rather do a deal over the phone, particularly if it's a good deal for them financially. And we're also doing deals subject to viewings. So a lot of developers, for instance, are allowing clients to place reservation deposits on a property and then come over once the restrictions are lifted, which we hope will be sometime in June in terms of people getting here. And if they don't like what they've purchased over the phone or remotely, then they simply get their deposit repaid to them. So it's effectively you're buying time rather than anything else. We're taking advantage of a few extra things that we haven't done before. So I've already mentioned virtual viewings, WhatsApp video calls, anything really. If you see a property that you like the look of, what we are able to do with the vendor's consent, obviously, is to go around to those properties and shoot a video. So you could actually end up getting a better service than you would otherwise have received before you actually make the trip over to Spain. We're finding that clients are eager. I mean, there's various ways of looking at this whole coronavirus episode. What we're finding is that a lot of our clients, the vast majority of our clients, are treating this as a hiatus, as a pause. So to them and to us, the market is paused. There's not a lot happening, but the market isn't collapsing. Just to give you an idea on that, we normally receive 3 or 4 vendor inquiries and instructions to sell properties per week. During the last 6 weeks, so since we've been in lockdown, I think we're coming up to the end of our 6th week, although it's all rolling together, we have received 1 listing instruction in 6 weeks. So it shows to me that vendors aren't desperate to sell their stock. Now, don't get me wrong, if this goes on for another 6 months and we're into late 2020, early 2021, then we have a different scenario where panic might set in. But at the moment, as I say, the vast majority of our clients are looking at this as probably a 3-month, 4-month pause on everything, on life in general. And if they don't need to sell their Spanish property, then they won't do. Most workers are being helped by their governments back at home in terms of some sort of pay or mortgage freezers, things like that are going to help them. And most people are looking at that as a bridge to coming out on the other side, starting working again, starting trading again, and life will continue as normal. That's the general attitude, I would say, across 95% of our client base. So the market hasn't collapsed. We're not receiving any instructions virtually to sell properties. So the market is just on pause. What I think there will be though for buyers is there will be some opportunities, I think, in quarter three and quarter four, so the second half of this year. If people are allowed to fly over in the summer and come and see us and come and have a look at what's going on, I think there'll actually be probably more opportunities from developers than there will be on the general private resale market. Developers are probably under a little bit more pressure financially. They're corporate bodies. They have employees to pay, they have debts to pay, and they have mortgages to service on their developments normally. This means that they need to maintain volume, and at the moment they're not selling any. So I think there will be opportunities come the second half of the year for buyers looking for good deals to maybe snap up a few bargains from developers, but I wouldn't necessarily expect the same deals to be there from private individuals. Sure, there'll be the odd one or two where you can negotiate good price discounts, as there always has been, but from developers particularly, and particularly because the Spanish financial end of the year normally comes at the end of December, there might well be some opportunities. But please don't be coming here expecting hundreds of thousands of euros off and 50% discounts. That isn't going to happen. There will be a little bit of pressure on developers, but it's more than likely going to be 5-10%, if that. Some developers will hang on and wait for better times and might not be under the same pressure as others. So it's worth testing it out, and we can help with that. For instance, I'm negotiating on a purchase in London at the moment. I thought, coronavirus, there'd be, developers would be offloading their stock. Yeah, they're keen to do deals, but they also have a floor and they can't go beneath that. So the most I've been offered on a London property in a nice location is 5%. And I'm like, but if that's the way the market is, that's the way the market is. So please don't expect massive discounts, but there will be opportunities. And please, when you do come over, or if you are discussing with us opportunities, please don't get confused between cheap and bargain. Cheap properties don't necessarily end up being bargain properties because there are so many other things involved rather than just price. It's all about location, it's all about quality, specification, amenities. So please don't just think that something's brilliantly priced, it's going to be a fantastic deal. Doesn't always go hand in hand. And what I would also suggest, finally, is that if you are thinking of coming over in the second half of this year, which I think is when we're going to see our clients again, and we're looking forward to it, get yourself prepared, because if you do come across a good deal, an opportunity with a developer, then there's nothing worse than then having to go, oh, can I afford it? So my advice to all of our clients at the moment is if you need a mortgage, get it agreed in principle. So get your documents submitted to a mortgage broker here in Spain who can help you work out how much you have to spend and what the repayments are likely to be. And don't forget, it's never been a cheaper time to get a Spanish mortgage. Interest rates are historically low, and now all the fees, the setup fees, are paid by the bank and not by you. So it's a really good time to get a mortgage. So I would spend the next month or two getting to grips with that, so that when I am ready to come to Spain, I will know exactly how much I have to spend, and I'll be able to shop around. And if I am going to negotiate a good deal for myself, I'll be in a position of strength, knowing exactly that I have a mortgage lined up, I'm ready to go. So lawyers, mortgages, any groundwork you can do to prepare yourself for coming here, do it now, so that when you are here the second half of the year, any opportunities are yours and not somebody else's. We hope that's helped. As I say, generally the overview is the market is on pause. If that situation changes and we start seeing any distress in the market, we'll of course let you know. But at the moment, it's a pause, and we are expecting to come out of this lockdown here in Spain gradually from now really, the 7th week. 10th of May, I think, is when they're going to hand over the power to restrict people's movement to the local authorities, which is better for us here in Andalusia because we haven't been as affected as some areas like Madrid and Barcelona. So we're expecting to open our doors over the summer. Whether that'll be late June, early July, we don't know, but we're anticipating it'll be those dates. So if that's the case, then we really will find ourselves have been paused from mid-March to mid-June. So it's a 3-4 month kind of hiatus. So if that's the case, we don't expect there to be too many movements in prices and market fluctuations. But as I say, there could be a bargain or two in the second half of the year. I hope this has been informative. As I say, we're just answering a question that's been asked of us by pretty much every client. What's happening? So that's a quick overview of what's taking place at the moment. More importantly, we hope you and your loved ones are safe and well, and we really are looking forward to seeing you over here in sunny Spain just as soon as possible. Take care. Bye-bye.